Clara, hi GP. How is it that my nervous system isn't protecting me from things I don't want to happen now? Why is it only recognizing past programming? Thank you so much for your time. Great question. Um, the thing is that early on we get traumatized, and the essential thing it's protecting you from is the exposure of yourself to the world. It's not safe for you to be yourself. So it's busy in the work of keeping you hidden. That's its number one goal, because anytime you come out, it assumes there's going to be some danger. Now, what that means is that it is so stuck in that pattern that it can't rightly identify what's dangerous now. So you'll end up trusting people that you shouldn't trust, doing things you shouldn't do, right? Because the mechanism that would be your internal guidance that would say, not a good idea, is not functioning fully, because all of the energy is being taken up elsewhere. So it's only looking at what's happening now from the perspective of what happened then, right? So it's looking at it in terms of, is this a threat to this? Not is it a threat to another state, right? Where you could say, oh, that is a threat. Oh, and that's an opportunity. From this perspective, you might say that's an opportunity and that's a threat, right? Because the criteria is off, right? It isn't seeing things as they actually are. It's perceiving them through this lens of the traumatized child, right? And so it can't tell, right? And so that's why it happens, right? So the mission then is to free it from that, free it from its main job right now, which is keeping you hidden, right? And the more energy that comes off of that defensive posture, the more becomes available to the creative posture. And in that creative posture comes the wisdom and the perception. It begins to see things as they are. The true wisdom begins to awaken. And you go, that's an opportunity. That's a threat. I'm avoiding that. I'm reaching for that, right? That shiny object is actually valuable, right? This one looks like a shiny object, but it isn't. But now I can tell, because the whole energy system has shifted from being in defensive mode to being in expressive, evolutionary, participatory, collaborative, right? This is the process that I call inner reconciliation. It is getting it out of the defensive standpoint. And it takes a lot of love and compassion and some guidance and coaching to do that, because it's just stuck in the past. It really believes the world still looks the way it did when you were 6 or 3, or or maybe even earlier, right? It's convinced that this is still the right map of reality, and so it's interpreting everything from that point of view. Even though consciously we can see that doesn't make any sense, down here it makes a lot of sense, right? And this is the inner journey. You're going in to reconcile with that energy. You can't force it to let go of the defense. If you try to force it, it digs its heels in, doubles down, because now you're a threat. It's not going to give up the defense because it's dangerous out there. So instead, the approach is, right, you're protecting me. I get it. Thank you. I'm alive because of you. If you didn't, I would have been dead a long time ago. So let's take a look. I know you can protect me, so there's no real danger. Why don't we take a look and see if maybe we don't need it to be this intense anymore? Maybe that danger has actually passed. I mean, if it hasn't, fine. You got to do what you got to do. But if it has, well, can we just open up and take a look? This is a very gentle, compassionate inner dialogue that I call inner reconciliation. And as part of that process, I will use EFT. I use meditation. I've used a few other things as well. I've even grabbed some things from inner child work, and because it's all about reconciling, right? The theme is inner reconciliation, and within that theme, You can pull out, there's all sorts of different tools. I mean, I've got therapists who have studied it. I've got people in all walks of life who have studied this, and it hasn't been contradictory to what they do. It's actually amplified it because it's created a different context. So this is what we're in the business of doing. We are in the business of reconciling with that energy. So our nervous system can see it's safe to be myself. When that happens, all of the energy that was defending against switches sides and begins to express you. Right? It's the same energy, right? It's what the system was designed to do. The whole human system was designed to give expression to you, the formless consciousness. So you, as formless consciousness, could appear in form and function and enjoy and taste the honey, right? But in order to make that happen, it first had to keep you alive. And so it just got stuck there. And we're just going to, little by little, move the needle. It's going to, oh, it's safe. Cool. Right? And it's really like that. It's really very funny. The moment it knows it's safe, it begins to drop the defenses because it doesn't need them. It's not stupid. Right? And you're sitting inside the most adaptive mechanism in the universe. It can adapt to anything. And that's what it did. It adapted to a particular environment where it had to defend you. And as far as it's concerned, it just assumes that environment is still there. That's an energetic assumption. Your job is to show it that that environment isn't there anymore. And it starts by you stopping fighting with it. That's the problem with self-help. You end up fighting it. And instead you go, oh, it's my friend. Let's have a conversation. A complete shift. And you now no longer has to defend itself against you. Boom, immediately those defenses start coming down. You'll feel it in your body. You're just going to go, there's a sense of relief.